Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Emre Ovsay, endodontist, R&D specialist, and creator of Rising Files. Today, we are leading another level with percussion in motion, exploring the rising endodontic system. As far as so good, we are getting more details together to learn more about the rising system. We are going to unlock new features for today's live broadcast. Then we will continue our webinars as scheduled and we will be together. Before start, I will be at Krakow, so I will be there and want to meet you. This is not just a file system, this is Rising. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Emre Ovsay, endodontist, R&D specialist and creator of Rising, where every movement is calculated, where percussion meets innovation, where minimal invasiveness becomes the power. Join us in Krakow, November between 6 and 9 at the 26th International Endodontic Symposium, the Pulp Fiction. Witness the revolution, shape the future with Rising. See you in Krakow. See you, Poland. So I will be in Krakow between 6 and 9, so we have a chance to speak about Rising Files and give you the details about all of the system. Most of you know me, but just to introduce myself, like my every webinar, I'm a lecturer, I'm a faculty member, I'm a researcher, and I'm an R&D specialist, especially focused on Rising Files in R&D department. When I come, it means it's time for Rising training. And I'm working with my wife at the faculty. We have a great research team with Rising Files, and we are focusing on every step to increase the possibility of the Rising Files, of their usage, and with their studies, I'm going to present you some of our new studies about Rising Files, which are very interesting and very, very effective. So most colleagues ask me the same question before they start using the Rising Files. Everyone has a question, and actually they are mostly focused on why is Rising different. I have a system and have been using for many years before. Why do I have to change this system to Rising? What is the advantage? What is the power? What is the reason why I need to change for another system? Because world is changing and new systems released in the market, but Rising is actually very far different from the other systems. So we should understand why Rising is different from another file system. Especially Rising is different because we combined our power with Fanta Dental Global in the R&D department, partially in the production stage and partially for the clinical stage. We have the power to understand every situation before we were focusing on Rising Files. We worked very hard to make it clear, to have the best way and achieve the most exciting file in the endodontic market. I will show you some comments at the end of the presentation, and I'm very impressed that our colleagues are in love with Rising Files who had tried Rising before. Especially Rising is the part of our FantaBot system. It's a unique system, but we have other file systems. We have the accessories like plugger, hand files. We have also small devices, Apex locators, iRoot Pro, and we are going to release iRoot Ultra in a short period of time. And also, these endomotors will include Rising system. Especially iRoot Ultra will be unique with the Rising system. And we have the Fanta microscope, which has the clarity of lens, very quality and very good lenses. And the sensor inside is very effective on capturing live broadcast videos to show your cases and present your cases in social media or in your presentation. And we have the Rising at the top, that Rising combined Fanta Dental's inventory. So to start with the Rising, it's our hero that's going to rise.
Shine bright like a diamond, shine bright like a diamond. So shine bright tonight, you and I. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Eye to eye, we're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond.
Rising system, that it's a very effective system. You know, Rising has a lot of properties, a unique system that has everything inside and includes everything, every need for your own cases. So especially Rising makes minimal invasive shaping, but the minimal invasiveness is not like the other systems. Because of its extreme cutting efficiency and its fixed taper, it stays in the same level that you shape the root canal. So it has the specialized cutting angle that has never done before, which I'm going to mention it in my next webinar. I'm going to unlock the features step by step. Then we have the maximum debris removal compared to the other systems. We had studies about that removing the debris from coronal to apical part, from apical to coronal part, and it's 5 times much more compared to the most of the systems, 5 times or more, that the data we obtained in our research lab with our research team. But there is one effect that some colleagues still ask me about it. They ask me that, what does perfect cone mean? It means when you shape the root canal with a number, it can be 25, 30, or 28 for rising file. You have this specialized gutta-percha that will perfectly fit inside the root canal. So you don't have to waste time on apical tuckback. You cannot extend beyond the apex, or you don't need any extra time to make this effort to complete your treatment. So the best way for rising files is after using the file, using the rising specialized gutta-percha to complete all of the procedure. So my heart will not beat during the procedure and I can easily fill the root canal. When you shape with rising, you see how smooth is the orifices and inside the root canal system. When you check under the microscope with 25x, you will understand what I mean, the smoothness of the root canal system, that without putting any effort. So when we talk about cases, mostly endodontists like to use hybrid file systems together. One file from one system, the other file from another system. But with the Rising system, you don't need any extra file. It's a case-based rotary system, which means you will use Rising in 99% of your cases. Believe me, you will solve every case with Rising file very easily. When you use Rising, you will understand the power of the file. And also for large canals, it's possible to use also Rising. Not because it's minimally invasive, when you shape, you can reach inside the root canal in everywhere with the irrigation and activation with our Acto-1 Pro, and you can complete all the procedure with the Rising file. Especially the other question that colleagues ask me, the palatal roots of the upper molar and the distal roots of the lower molar, that is it effective to shape with Rising?
Yes, it's clearly effective to shape with the rising files without any hesitation. It's the easiest way to finish your therapy. And especially, mostly, when we try rising on students, our students use rising. And do you believe what they said? They said root canal treatment is easier than ever because there is no effort on wasting time on shaping, on apical tuckback, and the other parts of the root canal. Just it needs to be focused on your case to solve all your problems very easily. You know, we completed treatments with the coronal third, middle third, and the apical third. To complete our root canal treatment, we need an orifice shaper, we need glide pad file, and we need the shaper files to complete all of the procedure. And we have everything in Rising set. So you don't need any extra file to solve your cases. We prepared you a chart. You are going to scan the barcode and you are going to see the charts on the package. And we try to pack cases together to make you an easier solution. That's what we do with the rising files. If you're facing an easy canal, straight canals, single rooted, without curvature premolars, it's easy to enter with the orifice shaper, then C-flex, then you can continue with R2 and finish with R4. You know, R4 is the magical file of the rising system. I always make you remember these files during the webinars to make a proper feeling that you can understand everything very clearly without before using the files without any hesitation. For the medium canals, premolars, molars, little curvatures, you start with the orifice shaper, then you continue it with the C-flex and R1 and R2, and you can complete the case very easily. You know, when you are using the rising files, it's very easy to complete the case and it's very easy to complete the procedure. So you should be focused on your case, not the shaping method, not the shaping procedure. You should directly focus on type of the case and solve the problem very easily. For curvature canals, for molars, for premolars, and moderate canal anatomies like middle strength root canals, not so powerful, not so easy, mid-range canals. You can start with the orifice shaper, then C-flex, R1, R2, and R3. You can easily complete all the procedure very easily. For hard cases, it's advised to use R4 as the latest file. For hard cases, firstly, the orifice shaper, firstly, orifice, then C-flex, then R1, R2, R3, and you can finish with R4. You know, R4 is the key file of the rising system. You need to have always R4 for the hard cases. To complete your hard cases, you can easily finish with R4. If you are facing an extreme case, when you look at the radiograph, you will feel, you will understand that something is going to force you while you are operating the patient. You see the curvature, 90 degrees, extreme curvatures, double curvatures, and there are S-shaped canals that you need to put extra effort. Before rising, you need to make hand instrumentation with the C file to pass the curvature, to pass the S-shaped canals. But now, you don't need any extra effort. You just start with the orifice shaper, you continue with the C-flex, R1, R2, R4, and you can finish easily with R3. These are the some cases, also especially, we use also rising in retreatment cases to show you that the curvature is so deep, but you can pass the curvature with the rising file and you can understand how easily it can be used. So the second part of the question that colleagues always ask me is the durability of rising. Is rising a durable system? How did you make it durable? How it is durable? So there are some specialties that you need to know. about our rising files, about the durability of rising. Starting from the AF L wire, we pass to R wire, H wire, but rising is ridiculously different from the other wires. Rising is AF Pro wire, which is a new wire for endodontic market. We develop Pro wire, including every specialty of the other nickel titanium wires in one piece. In the production stage, we make rising sometimes harder, sometimes softer, sometimes flexible, according to the situation inside the root canal system. When you pass the curvature, it's softer than ever. When you face the calcification, it's harder than ever. So I'm giving you the special details that the molecules inside the nickel titanium act for your case, and it changes the situation of the nickel titanium inside the root canal, adapting to your morphology of your case. So rising is AF Pro wire, which is a very effective wire that has never done before. I'm proud to announce you here the great possibility of rising that you can easily solve your cases with our new wire system. With the durability, we tested rising. We beat the other systems in the market like 𝗥𝗚𝗦𝗃 and the other brands. This study is the 𝗥𝗚𝗃 RACE study, and you can see the difference. You can see the time passing. That the time can pass easily, but the file doesn't break. So it's easy to complete the case with the rising file. This is the metal block circulating inside. And nearly for 45 to 48 minutes, rising break inside the metal block. And our new article is on the way, Beyond the Curvature. So it's the performance of rising systems under repeated use. We tested rising with the well-known brands in the market, and we are happy to see the results that rising is greater than ever compared to the other file systems. When we test rising, you can think that maybe we are not objective with our thoughts, with our ideas. We make blind tests to test rising, because when you produce a material and in your heart you feel that it's your effort and it's your production, so maybe if you test it like this, you cannot be objective. But if you make a blind test in R&D and you don't know which file is that file, and you can calculate the results, you can understand that the real performance comes from here, because we do blind tests. We don't know what the clinicians don't know what they are using. They test the files and they get results. According to our R&D research, rising is 5 times more compared to the other file systems in the market. It can be more than 5 times, but especially at least 5 times different for debris removal, for cutting efficiency, for the elasticity, and for apical tuckback. And please remember that no file can do apical tuckback. Without rising, you cannot have the apical tuckback inside the root canal. That's the difference of the rising, most exciting difference that has never done before, that you can do very easily inside the clinics, inside with the cases. You can deal with the cases very easily. So starting with purified chamber. can complete your chase with your rising file. This is one of the newest cases which I handled. There was a tooth with the periapical lesion. Then we shaped the root canal with rising system, and with the apical tuckback, we finished the case very easily. We are still doing the follow-up, and we will see and share the differences before and after with you. Sometimes there's a tooth, we call it the last man standing, the last tooth in the right part or on the left part of the jaw and the maxilla or mandible. So you need to use this tooth for making the crown or for making the bridge. It is the most important part because you cannot apply any implant. So the best way to treat this tooth is with the rising system without taking any risks. This is the rising RR, our orifice shaper, very effective, as I mentioned you. This is the SEM picture, and the tip is semi-active. Please don't forget it. It's very effective for removing the calcification and removing the gutta-percha very easily. And we take the electropolishing stage to another level to make our rising file more durable in the production stage. Some cases you can use RR and R2 together like a single file technique. And you can complete your case easily. Passing to R1, our glide path file. When I mention about R1, R2, R3, and R4, it's a pro wire technology that has never done before. It acts inside the root canal as it needs to be. So if you're shaping a curvature, it's softer. If you're facing a calcification, it's harder. I will give you more details with our R&D in the later webinars, but I'm just going to show you that R1 is a soft file inside the room temperature. But when you use it inside the root canal, if it hits a calcification, it gets harder. So it changed the phase from austenite to martensite, or from martensite to austenite, to pass the calcification easily. When it gets harder, it passes the calcification, then it continues to reach the apical part. So some colleagues that focused on materials in their research tell me that Rising's nickel titanium is totally different from the other systems, and this is the first time we use a material like that while we're shaping the root canals. And I said, yes, it's probably the most different nickel titanium because it changes the face of the nickel titanium with the movement of the file. So this is the R2. Our shaper file.
So high, so high. So high, so high, so high. All angels sing from above. You know you make my world light up. When I was down, when to lift me up. Life is a drink and love's a drug. Oh, now I think I must be miles up. When I was hurt, withered, dried up, you came to rain and
Very different from the other files. And this is the 𝗤𝗃. This is number 30 with 4 taper. You know about 𝗤𝗃. And this is the 𝗤4, which is different from the other files because it's 28.5 taper. You can pass the curvature. You can shape the flute of the root canal very fluently, very, in a very easy way. Let's see. We have an acrylic block.
paint me a scene, city in color, the way that you see, the way you see it. Don't you wish that I could give you, I could give you everything. If you wanna run ahead, I'll meet you where the water meets the earth we cling to. If you wanna find the edge, I'll come
See
to.
how the variance is coming from
I could run around this world all day with you.
the irrigation.
Weightless, floating through the day. Trust that I'll be okay. I'm happy alone, waiting for you.
Make the
Wait
irrigation.
until you realize.
This is the 𝗤4. And this is the perfect fold fit.
Sing it out.
And to give you some example about the 𝗤3 and 𝗤4 file, if you use 𝗤3 then use 𝗤4, actually you can both finish the case with 𝗤3 and 𝗤4 gutta-percha. But if you use 𝗤4 as a last file, that means you will probably use 𝗤4 gutta-percha to finish the case. So just you have to do is to use the original rising gutta-percha to complete the procedure. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the rising system. 5 different files with 5 different metallurgy, with 5 different cutting efficiency, and 5 different type and eccentric movement inside the root canal system. You can also use rising as a single file for the single file lovers, for the colleagues. I know you don't want to use so much file, you just want to finish the case easily. You can use the orifice shaper and R2. And in my lectures worldwide, some colleagues ask me, can we use R2 directly without any orifice shaper? Of course, you can use R2 directly but for R&D research and for our Fanta Dental global application, with the team, we decided it will be better to use RR and R2 together as a single file technique, because you need to open the orifices. It's not advised in endodontics to enter directly inside the root canal, so you can use the two files. And for the large canals, you can go through R3 and R4, which are very effective files for your cases, so you can complete the cases easily. For that case, when I see that case, if a colleague show me that case, I will advise to use the whole sequence, okay, starting from RR and finishing with the R4. But I want to try rising as a single file, so I use the orifice shaper and the shaper file both to complete the case. Can you complete it? Yes, you can complete easily. But according to our chart, it's advised to complete all the procedure, but you can use two file, very effective and easily to complete the case. You know, risings do 3D motion inside the root canal, and when you finish the shaping procedure, you can directly put your 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝗀𝗀. It creates you an apical stop, so you can easily stop at that point and finish the case. We make training with our 4th grade students that it's their first year in the clinic, student clinic, and they perform their root canals with the rising files. So they shape with the rising file. In the first step, they insert their 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝗀𝗀, and when they have the cone radiograph, they see that they are exactly at the place that it needs to be. So they stayed at the apical part and they finish their case easily, even if they are the first users with the rising file. So the other thing with the rising file is that we standardize the shaping procedure. That's what we do. So everybody can shape in the same way without any problem, without any complication, or without any heartbeat while treating the patients. I know some cases are very difficult, even for us. We spend hours on passing the calcification or opening the glide path. It's a very hard way to manage the case. But I believe with the rising system, you can easily finish your case very effectively. So the other question is that with the rising, is there any harmful effect at the apical part? No, we check all the systems in the market. We shape with the all systems, and we have the 3D CBCT images before and after. There is no difference. Difference. So with the rising system, let me give you some special tips in that webinar so you can improve your shaping skills for the clinical practice. You know, we heat sodium hypochlorite to make it more and more effective. So you can use our e-heater that heats up to 220 degrees. Inside the root canal system. The second part, you need to use our 𝗥𝗚𝗏 Pro for best ultrasonic activation device inside the root canal. 𝗥𝗚𝗏 Pro is so powerful. It has a large battery capacity and it lasts very long, so you don't have to charge the device in every step, and it's very, very easy to use 𝗥𝗚𝗏 Pro. To complete the irrigation procedure, you can use our AF Max 3.
Astro, no. What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental.
Like a Tasmanian monster, you can irrigate and activate the root canals like a butterfly, very easy. So you can add AF Max 3. So the other part of the root canal treatment is the filling procedure. We have the downpack device and the e-filler in our inventory. So you should finish your cases, especially with e-filler. First, do the downpacking procedure, then with the backpacking procedure, you can complete your case, your filling very easily and very effective. This is our e-heater, our downpack device, and this is the e-filler. I want to go deeper with the e-filler that it has 2600 milliampere battery. Believe me, we had studies on that, and it's very effective to have a longer life battery, because when the battery capacity is larger, that means the device is more effective and you don't need to lose power during your case. So you need a large capacity battery to improve your clinical skills and to make it more easy to use. It's a very ergonomic design. It's a very balanced and comfortable feeling with the usage of the e-filler. It has a variety of changing temperature from 100 to 230, and it's a very good option because some cases we don't need to heat the gutta-percha. So we can stay in 140 or 120 to complete our procedure very easily with the e-filler. And the other part is that we have different working tips like 23 gauge and 25 gauge. It's inside the box, so you can easily change the tips and apply the gutta-percha according to the taper of the root canal system very easily, and it melts in 14 seconds. So it's a very, very small time to wait. You just pick the device and it's ready, so it can easily reduce your working time without spending.
All I dream of is your eyes. All I long for is your touch. And darling, something tells me that's enough. You can say that I'm a fool and I don't know very much, but I think they call this love. One smile, one kiss, two lonely hearts.
We do our work.
All that it takes now,
Every
babe.
stage of R&D. We have another case. Yes, we are facing with calcified canals. In this webinar, mostly I show you cases about calcification. To make you see how easy to manage the calcified area, starting from the orifice chamber and finishing with the glide path. You see the debris coming out the root canal. This is the R1. E with the graph. efficiently. And now you can give your heart to rising files. I want to have a special thanks to endodontists and general practitioners, our colleagues, that I receive very, very high priority messages in every day. They say that they love the system, they like the files, it cuts so smoothly, very satisfied with the rising file. So we are very happy to have the positive feedbacks with the rising files. So you can post your cases with the rising file and you can complete your cases easily. So you can complete your cases very easily with the rising file. Special thanks for you to attending the webinar today. I'm Dr. Emre Ovsay, endodontist, R&D specialist, creator of Rising Files. This is my first webinar as a Stile Italiana Fellow and always proud to be the key opinion leader of Fanta Dental Global. Stay tuned. See you in next webinar. See you soon with the new properties of rising.